My name's Greg Albert.
I'm John Humphrey.
I'm Ashley Edner.
Well, Ashley Edner, thank you for joining us
I've
today.
never been with both of you guys.
I know.
At once?
High five.
It's so exciting.
High five. Eiffel Towers.
Whoa.
We'll talk over you the whole time.
Yes.
I'm
Okay,
not
great.
gonna word
I'll
in.
I'll just sit here.
You're only here for image appeal. You've seen the movie It, right?
Yes.
Well, today we're gonna watch from Looper, disturbing It moments from the book, cut from the movie.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
The 2017 big screen adaptation of Stephen King's novel It is a major success with critics and audiences, due in no small part to the way the movie incorporates the book's most essential elements while sidestepping some of its more controversial or uncomfortable moments. These are the most disturbing scenes from It that were left behind during the long journey to theaters. Patrick Hochstetter's cruelest act. In the movie, Patrick Hochstetter is hardly a central figure to the story. He's clearly a jerk, but not nearly as terrible as he was in the novel. Patrick is an exceptionally disturbed young man in the book, and few scenes show that more than when he suffocates his baby brother in his crib.
Oh.
Why was this cut for the movie? Maybe to save time and narrow the narrative focus, or maybe the filmmakers just had no interest in getting quite that dark. Patrick's death scene.
Kills a baby.
In the 2017 movie, Patrick's death scene is entirely different than the way it goes down in the novel. He dies in the barren sewer drain while stalking the losers. On paper, however, Patrick's death is a little more disturbing. After he and Henry find themselves alone in the woods, Patrick makes a sexual advance on Henry, who ends up leaving, eventually. Left alone, Patrick is attacked by It in the form of swarming bugs, a death that matches his worst nightmare. Henry Bowers' own life.
Interesting. He was
In
gay.
the movie, Henry Bauer's father is portrayed as an alcoholic police officer who has no qualms about accosting his son in front of his friends. But aside from the gun scene, his cruelty is mostly hinted at. In the book, however, Henry's home life is a lot more messed up. Butch Bowers is a Marine veteran who's developed psychosis and is verbally and physically abusive to his family, including Henry. The only thing Henry seems to be able to do right by his father is act upon their shared racism against the Hanlon family. The Town Blaze. The 2017 It movie handles Mike's history in very obscure terms. We're told his parents died in a gruesome house fire, and that he'd seen them burn, which is why he's so haunted by the image of burnt hands reaching out from the meat store's alley entrance. He's shown as the bearer of some bad news about the town's history, courtesy of his grandfather, but for the most part, the role of the resident historian of the group is given to Ben Hanscom instead. The book goes into a lot more detail about Mike's pain. The notorious town fire referenced in the movie took place at a club called the Black Spot, and his dad was there the night it was burned down. It's also Mike's dad who encourages him to study the town's sinister history, which is how he becomes a librarian, and the only one to stay in Derry after the rest of the Losers Club leaves. The death of Eddie Corcoran. Not only is Eddie Corcoran's story one of the most tragic subplots in the book, but he didn't even make it into the movie. A student at the same school as the Losers, Eddie's stepfather kills his little brother with a hammer, which leaves Eddie on the run for his life. He ends up in the Barrens where he encounters It, which takes the form of his recently deceased little brother, before turning into a gillman and decapitating Eddie.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
Eddie's first encounter. Eddie Kasprack's first encounter with It in the movie is relatively similar
Eddie
to the
dies?
novel. He passes by the creepy house on Neibold Street and runs into a leper, which is a combination of his worst fear of severe and contagious illnesses. In the book, however, the scene's a little more adult. Many readers thought Eddie's mother also stunted his emotional and sexual maturity by demanding that all his affection be reserved for her. The leper doesn't make fun of his medication. Instead, he offers to perform sexual favors in exchange for cash, suggesting
Whoa.
that he's been taught to fear his sexuality, most likely because of communicable diseases. That's a little too heavy to explore in a single scene, so it's easy to understand why it was ditched. The Goon Squad. Henry Bowers is shown tumbling down the well to his possible death in the 2017 movie. And aside from Patrick, the rest of his bully crew seems to get out of the movie without getting hurt. In the book, however, they're all caught by It in the sewers after chasing the losers. Vic gets his head torn off by the creature, who appears as Frankenstein's monster, and Belch has his face ripped in half after trying to defend Henry. So yeah, it's all a lot more graphic in the book. The Ritual of Churning. The ending of it has certainly simplified things when it came to the losers' first banishment of the beast. Once they rescue Beverly from a floating comatose state, they are fearless against the creature. After they manage to injure it by striking its head, the monster slinks into the well and the killings stop. For now. In the book, however, there's a lot more to it. A whole lot. Bill Denborough uses an ancient technique called the Ritual of Churning, which takes him into the Macroverse, where he encounters the universe's creator, a giant turtle named Maturin. The turtle informs him that he can only defeat it in a battle of wills, and Bill weakens it enough that the losers can make a physical attack. It's a much more supernatural and celestial process than what we see on screen. And if it is any indication, the forthcoming sequel may also bypass this bonkers aspect of the story altogether.
Hope so.
The Smoke Hole. The movie also completely omitted a book scene that would probably be regarded as insensitive on film. In the scene, Bill uses a Native American smoke hole ritual in an effort to find out more about the demon terrorizing Derry. Bill and Richie end up staying in the hot box long enough to realize that it is an evil force that's sucking the lifeblood out of the town. It's a realization that works just as well with a rudimentary history lesson, but it's a clear example of the movie avoiding the necessary controversy, which is pretty interesting, since it's still a movie about kids battling a child-eating monster. Of course, as controversial as that would have been, it's nothing compared to the sewer escape. This is probably the most infamous scene that never made it from the book to the screen in any version. In the movie, the losers have no trouble exiting the sewer system after their battle with it. In the book, however, they find that they can't remember the way out. The solution? At Bev's own suggestion, all 6 of the boys have sex with Beverly Marsh in quick succession so they can be united again and find their way back to the Barrens. There's been a lot of debate about this scene from the book, whether this was belittling, abusive, or even empowering for Beverly. But even Stephen King himself has since walked back on his value to the story. I wasn't really thinking of the sexual aspect of it. The book dealt with childhood and adulthood. Intuitively, the losers knew they had to be together again. The sexual acts connected childhood and adulthood. It's another version of the glass tunnel that connects the children's library and the adult library. Times have changed since I wrote that scene, and there is now more sensitivity to those issues. Like the 1990 TV miniseries, 2017's It basically ignores that part of the plot, which saved the filmmakers a lot of trouble bringing that problematic scene to life. Not to mention saving a lot of moviegoers from a pretty awkward conversation once they got home. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.
Yay!
Wait, I don't get the last thing. Why did they all have to have sex with her? To find their way out?
Because they have to stay connected.
They gotta stay connected in
What
order
does that have to
to.
do with anything?
I don't know.
I
According
feel
to
like
Stephen,
I need to read the book to
Yeah.
understand it
I
all.
don't
What
know.
that
the justification is I've heard is that they have to stay connected, but that's the most explanation I get on it.
That's
I'm
interesting.
like, isn't there other ways?
Yeah, why
Can we
They
just
all-
talk this out?
And they all unify as one, so they're all like one stronger entity. So that's why they're all having sex with Beverly.
And they all, I guess, grow in some.
I mean, if they all wanted
Oh,
to,
really?
if they all wanted,
I wasn't even trying there.
if they all wanted to stay connected through sexual activity, then they all should have had sex with each other. Why just Beverly?
Basically, there was a lot more in like the book. There was a lot more sexual stuff.
And a lot more like fantasy.
A lot more murder.
Yes.
And a lot more murder.
Yeah, I mean, there's.
And like the baby in the crib thing being suffocated.
Oh yeah, see, I don't know if I could have handled seeing that.
Didn't you
in
see
a...
Mother? Wasn't there something with babies and killing and all that in Mother?
Oh yeah, half the movie's just killing babies.
Yeah.
I want everyone to think that going in. I
I haven't seen it, but
There's actually a counter on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
How many babies?
38 babies.
A lot of baby. But baby budget was huge.
Yeah.
you know what I kind of think that would have been cool though if they kept in the movie was that like him getting eaten by bugs.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that just could have been cool. Like they didn't really show how he died, or they just saw everybody coming at him or whatever. But I mean, with other people, they showed their fears. I just think that like the bug thing and him being attacked by all of them and like sworn would have been cool.
Well, that's such a skin crawling and easy to relate to fear, you know?
Yeah, but at the same time, the whole like bug crawling on thing, we've seen it done in like so many movies. I think of like The Mummy, or even
know,
that
it's
clip
The
from like
Mummy.
Indiana
Indiana
Jones
Jones
4 that
yeah.
they showed here.
I guess so,
It's
yeah.
associated with things like that. I feel like it might have been too familiar. At the same time, like they said in that moment, he comes on to, what's the fat kid's name? I'm sorry, Plump. child's name?
Isn't it Ben?
Ben.
I think
Yeah.
so he comes on to him and does some sort of sexual thing to him.
Yeah, I feel like there's certain things they cut because there's some stuff where you're like, well, you can't have child actors going through these kind of things. You know?
Plus, it's not like super necessary, I guess.
No, he's not that important of a
No,
character. They don't
no.
need it. And for a movie, you need to keep it more contained.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's a show, I can see how like they'll explore these random other areas.
Yeah.
But for a movie, no, you gotta keep
condense it.
You
Yeah.
gotta have the focus be a lot more solid.
Well, yeah, I imagine you'd probably take that edge and smooth it out as a means to like build this tension, you know,
Yeah.
build the dread of Pennywise /
Mm-hmm.
it, and we don't focus as hard on it right now
Yeah,
because you're
yeah.
not the point of the movie.
I've seen the It miniseries, and in the miniseries, Michael, the black kid out of the white losers, he is the one with all the historical information. As a child, he comes in later into the group, so that all plays out like how it does in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with the movie, though, is I kind of felt like his character was really pushed to the background,
Yeah.
and he didn't really serve that much of a purpose for a lot of it. The movie pretty much starts off with him, and then he comes in like way later.
Yeah.
Yeah, he feels like kind of a weirdly, like a side story that doesn't quite
Yeah.
mesh with everything until he finally joins the
Yeah.
gang. Even then, he's not that big.
Because
of a
I thought the
member.
Ben character already had the thing about his
Yeah,
being
he
the
knew more of the
overweight kid with the
history.
self-conscious stuff, and then they made him the historical kid. But I'm like, well, having Michael show up later in the movie and him being the historian would have had his character serve a much bigger purpose.
Racism is over, and now we gotta empower fat people.
So that's why. But he does say, like, when they're sitting on the bench, he's like, my grandfather believes this town. He has a pivotal line.
I
That
guess.
line, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And how
They
that
show
line
it on the
changes
trailer.
everything.
No, they show it on the trailers, and he's like, my grandfather says this town is cursed.
The trailer makes it look like he's gonna be a part of this movie.
That
And like you could kind of cut him out of the. That made me really sad too. Actually, you could kind of cut him out and give his lines to somebody else, and not much changes.
No.
You know, a couple details.
Well, he brings in the psh thing.
Yeah. The like slaughter
Wow.
gun.
What's that? Yeah, you know?
Yep.
So he brings that to the table because that is used. Or is it if you haven't seen it? But-
It's pretty obvious when the opening scene has that weapon
Okay.
that you know it will be used later in the
Well-
movie.
Well, the other thing too is like every time I hear about what's cut out of a Stephen King movie, you know, from the book or whatever, like listening to all these facts and stuff, reading that book, I would be like, this sounds like the worst possible place to live. Like everyone's deranged, everyone's like doing these horrendous crime level
Yes.
Yeah.
pranks on each other. The youth of these movies,
And all these
in
parents seem terrible.
General. Yeah, it's like all the parents are messed up, and all the kids are like cutting each other and like murdering
Suffocating
people.
babies in
Yeah.
their cribs.
Well, I like
Yeah.
that thing with Eddie. That's more hinted at in the It miniseries for me. With Eddie having this mom forces her child to only show affection to her.
I kind of got that as it was, though.
You get a sense of that. I feel like it's probably way more clear cut. Like in terms of affection, that's communicated pretty well in the movie. I feel like the sexual part
Yeah.
would have been a little, but then again, I'm like, but there's a kid
But then
actor there.
also, like,
You
we,
know?
had we had the whole, like, sexual thing going on with, like, Bev and her dad. You know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah.
it might have been, like, a lot of, like, child-parent sexual stuff going on. Because you got
Sure.
that fully with...
Every story
You know what
needs
I
a
mean?
little bit of.
But, like, you've
pedophilia.
already got that with her storyline. And
That's
that was
true.
very apparent, you know? So
Yeah.
I
feel
think we
like...
can give and take on that.
I mean, but the mom's not like molesting him.
I still found it creepy anyway.
Like, she
especially
probably, like,
that
breastfed
moment.
him way too long.
She probably.
You know what I
did.
mean? Like, probably...
Yeah.
What's
It's
way
like,
too long?
just, like, probably, like, an abnormally...
Not until he's like 6 years old.
Yeah.
What? That's long?
Stop
Breast
it.
until I was like 12.
I still jump on sometimes.
Yeah. She still produces.
Well, and it's pretty creepy.
Ew.
That moment where she makes him come back and give her a kiss goodbye.
Yeah,
like, it's
yes,
still
I felt the weirdness there. Yes.
Yeah, oh, that's true. I
And
forgot about that.
They did
moment.
little things in there.
a good amount of this stuff is basically things that appeared in the movie but were brought way down because they talk about the racism too with the main bully kid. I forget his name, but they talk about he's like super racist and stuff, and he's like really out to
And
get
that's the
Mike.
only thing that the dad was
Yeah.
like proud
Yeah.
of him for. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one thing where in the movie I was like, I wish you guys gonna utilize that more
Yeah.
because like nowadays it would resonate. I don't know. I just felt like they took the time to acknowledge it, but they didn't actually use it for
Mhm.
much.
I felt like they gave just a lot more attention to Ben instead.
Yeah.
Like,
totally.
instead of seeing scenes of the black kid getting bullied for being like the one black kid in Derry getting bullied, it's like, no, let's give the overweight kid the historical knowledge and we'll give scenes of focus on him getting bullied and stuff.
Yeah. No, the focus was definitely on him a lot of the time. I'm glad, though, that they didn't, because when I heard that this movie was coming out, I was nervous that they were going to go the route of, like, showing, like, you know, like the turtle thing and, like those really weird,
well,
you know,
it might, in part 2, it might be there. Because that is the origin of it.
Well, and that's the stuff that that makes me most curious about part 2, especially, because there's so much from so many of these Stephen King adaptations where you hear like, wow, these books are almost fantasy. Like, these are fantasies. Like, they're these weird, strange. Like, every time I hear about a Stephen King book, I'm like, this sounds so weird.
I've seen the It miniseries, and I hated the part with the adults. Couldn't stand it.
Oh, I never saw it.
But the parts with the kids were still fine. As far as the orgy scene goes, I think they should have included it.
No, do you?
I think they should have.
I don't think so. Do you?
That's what would make this film a classic. You know, like truly memorable is if they went there. They broke some boundaries.
Yeah.
You know.
This movie's for pussies.
That would.
Man.
I just want to see
sissies.
The pre-production meeting where they're like, okay, now we can't show any of this.
And we can't have any of the child actors do this.
So how do we frame it? We can get like stunt actors.
And we can't let the kids
shoot them
know
upward.
what the scene is that we're doing.
And then we'll stitch their faces on later.
It would be unnecessary.
Yeah,
it does.
Just take it and use it in the adult half of the story.
I mean, I thought them being connected by their blood, you know, that was enough.
That's good.
That's
good.
pretty good.
That's good enough. It is good enough for me. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary at all. It sounds disturbing. It sounds super disturbing because they're.
And it would have been like sad and weird, you know, because like to me, like it's kind of like a little love story too, and I just feel like it would have ruined that.
You mean if you weren't part of a group of friends? And they all felt like to be connected, all the dudes, you wouldn't...
Bang them all. Not anymore, Greg.
Adulthood.
Ashley's changed, people. Ashley's changed.
Oh, boy. You're not...
She's not the person I love anymore.
What happened to you?
I used to be so fun.
You used to be fun.
Well, guys.
Good talk, guys. Good talk.
It's
in the movie theaters.
It's doing well.
And everyone can't stop talking about it. Sub your subscriptions to The Real Rejects. Clickety click, 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 click the notification bell. Dad John Humphrey on Twitter and Instagram. Ashley Edner is Ashley Edner on Instagram.
That's right.
Do you have a Twitter?
You know what I do, but I don't go on it.
You don't tweet?
No, it's a bunch of old stuff.
You're never like, Trump is an a-hole.
No, I don't.
You're never like, I don't even feel sorry for Kevin Hart's wife.
Tweets deep, yeah. Just,
I need to get back on.
That's what you get for home wrecking in the first place.
I need to step up my Twitter game real quick.
You do, man. Oh, there's plenty of great things to say.
Get a good zinger in there. You hashtag it Smashly. Boom.
Oh, yes. Okay, I need to do Twitter just for that.
How-tos with Morgan and Ashley is her YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I've done a couple videos there. She never invites me back.
John, you have to come.
I do.
Yes.
You gotta teach me some. I need to learn.
Every time I've been on. Have I been on more than once?
No, just once. No, you have twice.
You have
We did an interview and we made a really cool drink with.
Every time
Why was I the only person who knows you've done it twice?
Oh yeah.
Every time you upload, it's like workout videos. You never invite me on
We
for
brought you
workout
on
videos.
to drink with us.
Yeah,
which is
I'm
way
like,
more fun.
I just think that you just don't think I can exercise.
Well, come
I
want to
come on for a drunken workout video.
Drunken
Yes.
workout.
I want to try
Guys,
and
let's
get
all
bulk.
do a drunken workout
Drunk
video together.
workout. That'd be so fun. And we'll get the cameraman to be drunk, and then we'll all be drunk. Yeah.
The editor will be drunk. We'll be drunk when we upload and tag it.
Who knows what's going to come out of the end.
This will be the worst assembled video you've ever seen.